Welcome to another episode of Wisdom from a Homeschool Mom for Every Mom. Today I want to share with you a decision that I made different than what other mothers around me are currently making and how I thought it through. Not because you should make the same decision as I, not because there's anything wrong with the decision the other mothers are making, just because I think it's important for each mother to know that we need to think carefully about what is right for our children at any given time. And just because everyone around us is doing something or not doing something doesn't mean that that's what's right for our kids. We have the responsibility and we have the wisdom necessary to make the right choices for our children at the right time. So let me tell you what's going on. Every Wednesday, I take my children to homeschool ice skating lessons at a local rink. And I've been doing this for a long time. My older children started over 10 years ago. Now, 10 years ago, during the homeschool ice skating lessons, the children wore winter hats on their heads and gloves on their hands, and that's the way it was. Today, when you walk into the rink, you'll notice that all the children are wearing helmets instead of winter hats, with the exception of my two children. Now, if a mother were to walk in 10 years ago and see everyone's wearing winter hats, she might have made the decision, I need to put my child in a helmet. And a mother walking in today might look at everyone in helmets and either decide my children should wear a helmet or they shouldn't. It's not what the decision is that matters. It's that we really all need to think things through ourselves. Now, the positives for wearing a helmet, of course, are safety. We've become a very safety conscious culture. So I don't need to explain to you why I think other people are doing it. But I do want to explain to you what went through my mind when I decided to make a different choice. And there are three reasons. The first one is that I want helmets to be non-negotiable. When a helmet is required, whether it's for biking or in our family we wear them for scootering or for skiing, you must wear a helmet or you don't go. If we were to get into the car to go to a bike path somewhere and one of my children said to me, oh gosh, I forgot my helmet at home, I would say to him, okay, you'll walk. I would not say, oh, okay, today you won't have a helmet, but next time wear it. Because a helmet is non-negotiable in certain situations. For me, an ice skating lesson with a teacher, I'm not talking about hockey, I'm not talking about high impact or high speeds. A safe lesson with a teacher is not a time that I'm willing to say, wear a helmet or else you're not allowed on the ice. If a kid would forget their helmet, I would say to them, all right, no problem, get on the ice today. And I don't want to do that. I don't want there to be any confusion about helmets in my family. It's not that sometimes we need them and sometimes we don't. When we do wear them, we always wear them. So that's the first reason. My second reason is that I believe that wearing helmets creates this false or a sense of security or safety, which I want my children to not have when they're learning to use their body as young children. I want them to know how their body behaves in space. I want them to have proprioception, a sense of what their body can do, what it can't do, how to balance, how to fall safely. You know, if a kid has a helmet on, there's no real reason to learn how to fall safely. Like, so what if you bump your head? You've got a helmet. I don't want my children to feel that way. I want them to learn how to fall safely. You know, playgrounds in America have become safer and safer over the last few decades. But interestingly, playground injuries have not gone down as you would have expected. In fact, in Germany today, they're building more risky playgrounds because they found out that building safe playgrounds is not making our kids safer. You see, when a child is young and they climb and they crawl and they balance, they're learning what their body can do while their body is still soft and pliable. When a 2-year-old falls off the monkey bars, they're almost always just fine. But when they get older, when a 10 or 12-year-old falls off, they often break a bone. Because if you haven't learned how to use your body safely when you're young, it becomes riskier to do things when you're older. So I don't want my children to have this built-in safety illusion. I want them to learn how their body works on ice. I want them to be comfortable with their body in space. And I do think that for us, wearing a helmet would counter that goal. And finally, I do think that we as a society have created a lot of anxiety in our children, and there's so many things our children are afraid of. And for me, I don't want to give any message that ice skating lessons are at all dangerous. There's nothing dangerous about them. You don't need a helmet. Relax, enjoy. I don't want my children to feel that there's anything to be fearful or cautious about. This is a great, safe activity. Go, enjoy. Let's not make this anything to be afraid of. So those are the things that went through my head when I made this decision. Again, this does not mean that it's the right decision for another mother there. I trust and believe that every mother out there is making the right decision for their child. The only reason I'm sharing this with you is because we really all have this responsibility to think through for our children what is important, what might be the unintended consequences of our decision, what might be the consequences that anyone would assume would be there. We just need to think it through. We can't just afford to do what everybody else does because one year it'll be no helmets, one year it will be helmets. We need to decide what's right for our children at all times. And if we make a wrong decision, that's okay. We can always change our minds and make a new decision as we have more information and as our children grow and change.